Alright, so hi guys, this is Jackie from techjackie.com. Welcome to another video on SEO. First of all, if you're brand new to this channel, make sure you press the subscribe button down below so when I release a new SEO video like this, you get notified. So in today's video, I'd like to discuss about, on a basically, rant about or basically talk about one of the most controversial topics out there, right, in local SEO, especially, and that is, should you blog for local SEO, or in another word, does blogging help local SEO rankings? Well, the short answer here is no, it does not actually help with the rankings, at least directly, right? So in this video, I'm going to explain to you where does this myth come from, and basically, explain to you like how to potentially use your blog to become, to help rank your main keywords for your local SEO. So without further ado, let's dive right into the videos. So basically, this myth, right, or this statements basically came, from like many of the SEO gurus, right, that try to preach that content is king, right, and you should be writing quality content and stuff like that. Well, up to some point, yes, content is king in SEO, right, because without quality content, you're not going to rank well in in the SERPs, right, like no matter how good your backlink is. But really, to be honest, you have to kind of prioritize your work, right? You have to focus on what really matters when it comes to your SEO campaigns. Now, when you listen to any of the SEO gurus out there preaching about content and stuff when it comes to SEO, the point here is they're basically talking mostly about general article type websites, right? So there's blogs or affiliate marketing and all those, right, like basically content heavy type of websites. Now when it comes to local SEO, the strategies here is different, because in local you're basically focusing on let's say a couple of main keywords, right? So that would normally be your service plus the city name, right? Or the service plus your another city name, something like that, if you have multiple locations. So it's a different scenario here, and that and besides that, you also have to kind of focus on a particular location as well, right? So let's say if you live in Los Angeles and you're doing a roofer and you're a roofer, then your main keyword will be roofing Los Angeles, something like that, right? So if you think about this scenario, there wouldn't be much of a thing to write about this, right? So what you would normally do here is to write on a general national type topic, such as 5 roofing tips for beginners, something like that. Now the thing here is those type of content don't really help you much when it comes to local SEO, and let me explain to you in a minute. Right, so the thing here is, let me kind of get back to where does this myth actually originate. So these gurus, what they do is they preach that content is king, and therefore you have to write lots of good quality content. So what do these like local business owners like you who are watching this video kind of confused here is, all right, you have to have lots of content on a website that basically talks about the same topics, and this is commonly known as topical relevance, right? So this helps build the relevance of your overall website on a particular topic. So let's say this is your main keyword, right? This is your home page you want to rank for, let's say roofing Los Angeles, and you would have let's say these are all the service pages, right? So like commercial roofing, residential roofing, right, all this stuff. And you would have your blog, right? So these are your blogs on various on various a roofing topics, right? General roofing topics. Now the point here is, let me ask you this question. So which keywords or which group of keywords are actually going to make you money, or actually are more related to your business than more related, right, when it comes to this type of website? Is it this group, right, where you have your keyword, your main keyword in the for the home page, and multiple services or service pages you want to rank? Or is it these blog content, right, where you basically just focus on pumping out like lots and lots of general roofing type content, or topic content? Well, the short answer is obviously it is this group of content, right? And that is where you have to focus or prioritize your work. Think about it, right? Like about it when it comes to Google's perspective. if a person or searchers search for something like roofing, let's say Los Angeles, um, which type of website would Google actually choose to rank, right? Is it the type of website that actually focus on, these group of keywords, or is it the website that really focus on, expanding their content and stuff like that using blogs? Obviously, Google is gonna pick the group of website which actually focus, on improving their websites on this group of keywords, right? Because it is the keyword, right? The group of keyword that people are looking for specifically when they do a search for that phrase. And that is why, no matter how many content you have on your website, that are related to your topic, and the end of the day, you have to really focus on this group of keywords only, right? And when you focus only on this group of keyword, it only boils down to how many service you offers or how many products you sell. That's it. Google's not gonna look about at your blog content. They're not gonna look at how many blog you have, how many content you have, etc., etc. Sure, like the more content you have on a particular topic, right? The more it helps when it comes to building the overall content or site's authority, right? When it comes to the topics, but the effect here is quite negligible, which compared to, let's say, blog type websites such as affiliate marketing, it is a different scenario. So let's say if a person search for best washing machine in 2020. Now for that query, obviously Google is going to look for a website that really provides insights into the topics as well as around the topics, right? So the Google might want to rank a site which actually reviews very good, which actually have a very good content on best washing machine 2020, and we also talk about multiple models, multiple also have articles on multiple models of the washing machines in 2020 as well, right? So that is a different scenarios. So when you do SEO, right, especially for local SEO, you have to prioritize what is more important, right? And I'm not just here bragging, that having blogs actually don't work. You must have seen this time and again, right? That you've put all effort in writing good content and stuff. You crank out like multiple blog articles per week, but still you're nowhere to be found the first page of Google. And when you look at your competitors, all you see here is only 5-page website homepage and 4 service or very few page, right, website. And you might be wondering, like, how come, right? Like, I'm cranking out this much of content, but still why I'm not ranking, whereas my competitors who have only like 5 or 6 pages, they're ranking like crazy. And this is the answer, guys. This is the answer, is that before you start your SEO campaign, you have to understand what is the objective, right? Because you have to remember the goal of Google or any search engine here is to deliver the most useful slash relevant slash authoritative content to the users, actually content or site, right? So Google also look at the website. So this is why when someone does a search for roofing Los Angeles, no matter how many blog content you have on a roofing topic, Google's are hardly gonna ignore, right? Like they're hardly gonna look at your general topic type website. And they're going to look for how relevant your website is when it comes to the core service page, the core main keywords, how authoritative your website is on the core main keywords and stuff like that, rather than looking at all these blog content, right, which hardly is going to be related to your main keyword or this group of keywords. Now you might be thinking like, all right, then you might just write about, let's say, 5 roofing tips by Los Angeles roofers, by writing a very local type website content. Now that again, by doing like that, you're just gonna write content on something which hardly has any search volume, right? Or hardly anyone's gonna search for it. Which again, Google can figure this out very easily, and they know what content users are looking for, right? When they do a search for this keyword rather than that type of content. So if they do a search for roofing in Los Angeles, obviously they're looking for service, right? Rather than information type content. So That is why your goal is to focus on this group of keyword. Now let me kind of show you a bit, right, like how this is in action. So you might be thinking like, okay, show me some example, right, that the websites are ranking well without blogs. I've seen tons of them, and I'm sure you have seen as well, but let me kind of show you a little bit here as well. So here I've done a search for plumbing Los Angeles CA, which is quite competitive keywords. As you know, right, Los Angeles is a big city and lots of competition there. So if you look at, this website, this is the top ranking website, right, after Yelp, of course. Or if let's say if you open this website up, so this is on the first page, right? So I'm making a search from the US. This is on the first page. So this is the top ranking website, and this is their website. As you can see, right, very beautifully laid out website, packed with tons of quality content on the home page where they want to rank. They've got a bunch of service pages set up, but as you can see, nowhere to be found, right? No blog section here. So if I do a search for blog, obviously no blog there. This is a top ranking website in one of the for one of the most competitive keyword in local SEO, and they don't have a single blog article on their website. Now let's take a look at this one. Again, right, tons of great service page setup, but you see, um, no blog page to be found. Okay, they might have it, so let's kind of look at how many content they have. Zero content, right? So it is written here blog also, maybe the owner figure out later, right, that blog is not really doesn't matter at all for their business. Now let me do again, let me show you again for another queries. So this is the key for the keyword, roof cleaning Portland, right? Portland, Oregon. So again, these are the top ranking website, right? So now let me show you. Actually, I found this is to be very interesting. So there's a result on the second page. This one, right? This one. So I found this on the other day, and then I was figure like, so this website has a lot of backlinks. I can also show you that. I can show you this website has lots of backlinks, but they're stuck on the second page, right? Okay. So they have got a domain rating of 8, right, and 101 referring domains, right, as you can see here. And they also have a blog section here, but they're stuck on the second page. So maybe if I take a look at, maybe some of the top ranking results, let's say Moss Busters. So they have a blog section here. And that's it, guys. They only have this much of blogs. You see, so their main focus here is on their core service page. As you can see, so they've got a very beautiful laid out website, and they don't really focus on blogs. And this website only has a domain rating. So let me kind of check. I haven't checked this earlier, so not sure about that. Only domain rating of 2.7, and they're ranking number 1. And you look at this website, with blogs content, you see very long type blog content, and with a domain rating of 8, ranking on number 2, on page 2, sorry. And this is just a very few example that I was able to come up very quickly, right, when I did a small research. Obviously I've seen this a lot in the field, right, and I'm sure you have seen this as well, right, where small, like very small number of page website ranking on the top, whereas you focus a lot of your energy in writing good quality blog content, but you're nowhere to be found. Okay, so that's the first thing, right? And that's my explanation, or that you blog for your local SEO. It's not necessary though. It doesn't help for your rankings directly, at least, like I mentioned earlier. Now, how can you utilize blog to actually help you when it comes to rankings? If you know the fundamental of marketing, so on, like, if there's a pyramid, right? So I'm not sure if you have seen the pyramid. So maybe if I do a search for, like, marketing pyramid. um I don't know what it is called basically, but it is like a pyramid, like consumer, right? So they have something like, um awareness pyramid, marketing awareness pyramid, something like that. Yeah, so it is basically something like this, right? So basically something like this, where at the bottom, it is like information type content, right? So like the users, all start aware about your business, and then they start to know you, like in the research process, and then they move on in the funnel, right? So basically it's like a funnel. Oh yeah, it is called like marketing funnel. Yeah, so this is the one. So on the top here you've got awareness, right? So this is the phase where people make, like find for informative type content, and then they start to generate interest, right? And then they would start considering your brand, and then ultimately, they're almost ready to buy here. By having a blog, obviously, you're gonna fill up the funnel up here, right? You're gonna fill up the type of people who are searching for type of content up here. But when you're doing local SEO, you're only focusing on specific cities, right? You're not focusing on entire nations. So this section is almost like zero for you. That's why it is not really important. But when I say directly here means you can use blog content to attract backlinks, right? So if you can rank for national queries such as roofing tips for beginners, something like that, and you promote that content, you'll be able to acquire backlinks naturally, or at least if you build some guest posts or some links to it, you can obviously use those type of contents to attract more links, to attract more links, and then from that blog content you can transfer the link juice to your main page, which is much easier to attract links to your commercial page, right? So whether it's service or product page. So let me kind of show you in a small diagram here. So let's say this is your blog content, and this is your service page, your home page. So let's say you rank this content on the first page, or you promote this content, you acquire some links to it, right? Remember, this is gonna be a national type content, so it's not gonna help you even create some brand awareness as well, right? Unless it is some keyword that your local air that the local people in your area are actually making some search for it. Otherwise, hardly there's gonna be anyone search for information type content in the local area. But you can use this to attract backlinks from other high authority sites, and then you funnel the link juice to your main page, right? The page you want to rank for, because acquiring links naturally to your main page, like such a service or product or this core group of service that I just talked about earlier, is very difficult. So you can utilize your blog to indirectly help influence your rankings, and this is why I mentioned here. But again, your focus should always be in the group of keyword, right, that I just talked about earlier, that are really matter to you and what Google are actually looking for, not the group of keyword, right, that are basically like just creating awareness or something like that, or just gibberish, right, or what you might think that will help you rank, something like that. So normally when I do any local SEO campaigns, my 80% would be focused on core service type pages, so core service keywords, and I would in the end I would just write about 5 to 6 blog content, which I think can attract some links naturally, or which I can use for promotions and get links to help funnel to the main page. And that's it. I don't write more than 10 blogs for any website. I used to make this mistake though when I started out. I used to focus a lot on writing content like this, and then I figured out later on that it was just a complete waste of time. And that's all for it, right? If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below, and let me know if you agree with me. And that's all for it. See you in the next video.